When it comes to playing point forward, Antoine Walker can be listed among the players who were the prototype for the position. Coming up in the rich history of Chicago players, he developed his signature style that blended size, shooting, ball handling, and finishing. At Kentucky, Antoine was the top player on an historically great national championship squad. When Penny came across Antoine as a pro, he saw a savvy player who would take the league by force. From their days running at hoops in Chicago in those legendary summer runs to showdowns in Boston and later meeting up in Miami, it was all mutual love and respect between the two. Looking back on Antoine's career, we not only think of him as a dynamically talented player, but a winner and the blueprint for the modern era game. So here it is, Antoine Walker on the 2 Cents Podcast. Remember, subscribe to catch every episode as soon as they drop, wherever you get your podcast.
Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Penny Hardaway, and I want to welcome you back to my 2 Cents Podcast. And I got my main man, employee number 8. If you know anything about this dude, bad man. Big guard is what I call him. Employee number 8, if you remember the commercial. And he did work in the league. If he ain't getting his credit, I'm going to be the main one to give him his flowers because he was a bad everything. We'll get into that, though. But Antoine Walker, everybody. My man, Twan, appreciate you, my guy.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me, bro. Excited to be on your show, man.
Yeah, I'm going to learn some history about you that I didn't know because, I mean, obviously I knew you're a little bit of the high school, just little, but obviously Kentucky, and then when you got in the league, you killed the league. But take me back to growing up in Chicago, as far back as you know, when you just got the ball in your hand and you just started understanding, like, this is what I want to do.
Well, for me, it was a little different. My first love is baseball.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know that because my uncle played professional baseball for 18 years. He ended up playing for the Cubs and the Mets and the Red Sox. He actually got drafted, ironically enough, which is a great trivia question. He got drafted by the Boston Red Sox, and then 20 years later, I come back and get drafted by, the Boston Celtics. That's kind of crazy.
It is crazy.
So baseball was my first love. I grew up with the glove in my hand playing baseball, obviously from him. And you know how a kid growing up in the neighborhood, I started growing. Starting to get tall. And I was always one of those kids that was tall for his age. So I started to play a lot more basketball. And then probably about the 5th grade, I just kind of turned it over to playing basketball being my main priority while I still played baseball. So I played baseball up to my freshman year in high school. And then basketball took over. By the time I got to 8th grade, Penny, I was 6'4".
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was over with. And when I got to 8th grade, I was 6'4". I started taking the game real serious and playing ball on a daily basis. So that was kind of like my childhood and history to sports was that obviously he played, and then he played for the Cubs too. So I got a chance to go to a ton of Cubs games as a young kid and watch baseballs. And so that was my first love. And then I jumped into basketball. Just by my height, to be honest with you, and started taking it really, really serious. And next thing you know, by the time I got to 8th grade, everything took off from there.
So 8th grade, were you varsity, 9th grade varsity? When did you really start hitting that varsity level?
8th grade, I played varsity in 9th grade. So my first year in high school, I ended up playing varsity, scoring like 10, 11 points a game. Young guys, a freshman. And then I just built from there. And then my sophomore year, I went to, I don't know, did you play a Nike All-American camp?
I did.
Yeah, so that I got invited to Nike All-American camp, went there, and then I took off from there. Started to get some national publicity, started getting ranked nationally as a basketball player. And after that, it was history, man. My junior year, I was like top 30, top 40 in the country. And then by my senior year, I was top 5 in the country.
Yeah, my connection to the Nike camp with the Chicago guys was Johnny Selvey and Brandon. Jamie Brandon. Shout out to both of them, man. That's what that was. The Chicago scene was tough with Jamie Brandon and Big Selvey. That boy, Big Selvey, was tough, man. He was mean.
Yeah, so the difference between I didn't play against those guys because they were public school.
Okay.
I went to Catholic school, so. I didn't get a chance to play them. I was in a funny story is that I wanted to go to King. I tried to. My mom wanted to go to King because obviously they were the #1 team in the state and everybody wanted to play for them. And Landon Cox, God rest his soul, recruited me wanted me to come there, and my mom was like, "You ain't going to public school."
Hey, that's what it is, though. I mean, the scene in Chicago. Just talk about the public school scene versus the Catholic scene in Chicago. The difference.
Yeah, the difference is, and I'm gonna sum it up for you. The biggest difference is, so imagine this: school gets out at 3:30. Public school played at 4 o'clock.
That's what I'm saying.
just because of the gang violence
Yep.
and all that stuff, they played at 4 o'clock. So when I went to Mount Carmel, we played Friday night, Saturday night, 7:30 at night. So we got like real big crowds
Yep.
because we played at
Yeah.
night. So that was the difference. I mean, those guys had to, obviously to this day, I thank my mom that I didn't have to deal with that on a daily basis. Yeah. But those guys had to deal with that, with the gangs and getting to school every day and dealing with that stuff. I didn't have to deal with that for the most part. So I'm very thankful and appreciative of that. At that time, I didn't think it was great, but and Mount Carmel was all boys school too, so that was another component to it too as well. So, but I always thank my mom for that because public school was tough.
Yeah, and when did your recruitment just start going the way you wanted to go? Was it sophomore year, junior year, when everybody just started saying, okay, this is that dude?
Well, my sophomore year, I got invited to Nike camp up in Indianapolis, and that's when I finally started to get some national recognition. I was always, starting to be known in locally in Chicago, but now I started to get the national attention my sophomore year. And then after that, it just it took off from there. I got better and better. And then by the time I got to my senior year, I finished up at the camp like top 5, I think, in the country. But that changed too. So my junior to my senior year in that situation, I got a unique opportunity. I got to play with just the guys from my state.
Okay.
They had changed the rule, the NCAA. A lot of people don't remember that. They changed the rules where you had to play with guys from your state. And I got a chance to play with the guys from my state. One of the point guards on our team got hurt, and Mr. Irvin gave me the ball and was like, "Hey, you the point guard." So it just showed the versatility in my game. I wasn't necessarily a point guard. You can understand that because obviously you one of the original point forwards. So I got a chance to handle the ball, make plays, and my stock just rose through the roof.
Yeah.
Because people never seen me do that. And I went probably from top 40 to top 5, and I was top 5 in the country when I left camp.
So where your ball handling come from? Because you had that thing, I ain't gonna lie, for a point forward, you had that thing on the string. Where did your ball handling come from? I just had a ball in my hands all day. Where did yours come from?
Man, kind of the same way, Penny. The same exact way. I had the ball in my hands all the time. And I was very fortunate that I played for coaches, even at a young age, that actually let me dribble and handle the ball. And it just carried on with me. In high school, even though I was, probably the biggest guy on the team, I still got a chance to handle the basketball. And when I got on the AAU circuit playing with other guys, obviously similar height and those things, my versatility really came out. But I really wanted to play point. I tried to follow Magic.
Yeah.
So I was going to sign with UNLV. A lot of people don't know that because that was the only school that was like, we're going to play you at the point guard position. And I was like, wow, so I really wanted to go there. I think Jay Wright was the assistant. Raleigh Massimino was the head coach. And they was going to let me play point. And Kentucky, Jamal Mashburn was my favorite player.
Monster Mash. Shout out to Monster Mash. Woo.
Yeah,
Work.
Monster Mash is my favorite. He was my favorite player. And when Kentucky started recruiting me, I just saw myself doing the same thing Mashburn was doing.
And man, you went.
So I was like, man, this is gonna be perfect for me. So I ended up choosing Kentucky.
Man, and the monster crew that he put together to go along with you, that was illegal what y'all had down there, bro. Talk about that experience because you chose Kentucky. Talk about your team, bro. A lot of people don't understand how deadly one of the best teams in college history, bro.
Yeah, we hear always people talk about how good college teams was, who had the best team. I mean, I played with. I think it was 9 of us that got drafted off that team. But just versatile. I mean, the versatility that we had on the team to be able to put these McDonald All-Americans and together and everybody come together for one common cause, and that's to win the national championship, was special. We're just a special group at Kentucky. We're all still in a group chat now. We all still keep in contact with each other. Just watching Mark Pope right now coach the team.
Yeah, doing a hell of a job.
Yeah, it's special. Playing 2 years with that guy and being friends with him is always special to see what he's got going on now and support him has been great. And so I think the closest was what makes it special.
Yeah.
You know how it
Yeah.
is. Sometimes you're not close to guys, but we're a very close group. We keep in contact every morning. It's some type of text coming through the phone, whether it's somebody's birthday, whether they got something going on in life,
Yep.
and we're supportive of each other. So it makes it real special.
Yeah, man. I really enjoyed watching y'all play, man. It was as a basketball fan, that was one of my favorite teams ever. Just man, y'all got it done, bro. And to win a championship, I was jealous though, because I never got a chance to win a college championship, but y'all did that. So a couple years at Kentucky, and then you get drafted. What was that? What was your mindset like? When it was time to make the decision to go to the league.
Actually, it was tough, man, to be honest with you, because we had just come off winning a national championship, and we were predicted to win it. I mean, even though it was early, we was predicted to win it again my junior year.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't remember, that group went to the Final Four.
Yep.
Right after the year I left. But no, I knew we were going to be good. I really enjoyed my teammates. We were so close. So I didn't feel pressured to go. But I'm gonna tell you what I did. So I obviously I went to my junior year. I went to Sonny Vaccaro. I switched over to a Adidas camp.
Yep.
And got really close with Sonny. And Sonny obviously was helping me out and making sure I was good. So I called Sonny and was like, Sonny, I'm hearing, because the internet wasn't big back then. With all these publications, so I was like, Sonny, I'm hearing through the grapevine that I can be a lottery pick. And he said, give me a day. Let me make some calls, and I'll let you know. Sonny called me back after a couple of days and was like, hey, you a lottery pick. And I had to have that conversation. I had the conversation with my mom first, and then I went and had the hardest conversation I could have. I went to Coach Pitino, and you know how Coach Pitino is. Went and sat down with Coach, and Penny, surprisingly enough, Coach was like, "Look, man, I did my research. I'm gonna let you go, and you need to go out. You're gonna be a lottery pick." And he started making his phone calls, making sure that I was making the right decision. Because I stayed down. You know how most of these guys now leave school and go to these workout facilities and all that stuff. I never left Kentucky until a week before the draft. So I stayed working out with the coaching staff, the trainers, and I worked out for 9 teams. I would go travel go work out for a team, come back. So I did my whole process through Kentucky, staying there, staying grounded, letting them lead the way for me, and it worked out good.
Oh, I know it did. And then you go 6 pick to the Celtics, man. What was that? What was that like? Because that's tradition, bro. That's like a lot on your shoulders because you're going there. You got Bird, you got McHale. You see all the championship banners. What are you thinking when you get drafted by the Celtics? Did you know you're going to go to the Celtics?
I knew about 10 minutes before they called my name. That's when I found out. So the Celtics actually had the 9th pick. So the day of the draft, they moved up from 9 to 6. They traded Eric Montross to the Dallas Mavericks and switched spots with them and moved up to 6. So that was good. But the Celtics was one of my shortest workouts. Like, it was weird. Like, I worked out for 9 teams, from 2 to 11. And the Celtics was my shortest workout, so I didn't think they really wanted me, if that makes sense. Because some of the other workouts were longer, 2 hours. But the Celtics workout was like 20 minutes. But what was special about it, M.L. Carr was the head coach and GM. Casey Jones was the assistant. Dennis Johnson was the assistant.
Look at those legends.
Yeah. Larry Bird was working in the front office. He was at my workout. JoJo White. Cedric Maxwell was doing radio. Tommy Heinsohn was doing TV. These are all the people that's at my workout.
Wow.
I'm like, oh, wow. You know what I mean? So I'm overwhelmed. I'm a basketball savant at this time. I know everything about the game. So I'm seeing these guys. But my workout was only 20 minutes. Interview was about an hour. So I didn't know where they was at as far as picking me. And then the phone call, my agent said, their draft, they trading up. The Celtics want you. I'm like, man, I they didn't think they can get me. So my workouts went really, really well. And what saved me is that my best workout was with Minnesota. And I never forget, Kevin McHale was the GM there. And he talked about that he needed a point guard. So they was picking 4. I think 4, they was picking 5. I think Stephon went 4 or 5. They flip-flop. Not for sure the order, but Stephon, they ended up taking Stephon at point guard position. Because that, to me, was my best workout, to me. Was in Minnesota.
Right.
But they had just drafted Kevin the year before. And obviously we know Kevin's a 4 or 5. They had just drafted him. and they needed a point guard. So it was good. And then Milwaukee needed a 2 guard to go along with Big Dog.
Yep.
So Ray went, and then it was me. So it was just one of those situations where it was like a perfect fit. And I loved it because it gave me a unique opportunity to join a storied franchise that was in the rebuild mode.
So the way I look at that is the longer workouts, it seemed like they were trying to find something either good or bad. The shorter workout was, we know who this guy is. We've seen him all season. He's already proven. We're a bunch of hoopers over here. We know the game. We know he's a hooper. And that's how I look at that.
Yeah, and then it's probably like they made, like you just said, they probably like already was sold on me, but they wanted to just see it in person real quick, maybe see a few things. And that seemed like the thing because ML Carr really, really took a father figure role to me from that point forward, especially after I got drafted and really trying to direct me in my development and really help me on and off the court.
So, question, when you grew up, were you a huge Bulls fan? Or were you one of the guys in the city like, I'm not a Bulls fan, I just like the NBA?
No, I was a Bulls fan.
Okay, so you go to the Celtics now. That's where I'm going somewhere with this. Now you go to the Celtics, and you got to come back and get at the Bulls. Like, how was that? Because, the Bulls dynasty, you were with the Bulls dynasty all that time. You seeing MJ do his thing, Scottie, all them guys. And then now you get drafted to the Celtics, which is kind of like a robbery. That's who MJ had to go through with the Pistons to be able to start winning championships. So how did that feel when you came back home and had to go in Chicago? Was it Chicago Stadium at the time?
No, I got played in the United Center.
Oh, the United Center. Okay, so the United Center.
Yeah, I played in the United Center. It was weird because I had so much respect and love for being a fan of Scottie and Mike and watching them play. So I was a fan. And a fun fact, my first game in the NBA was against the Chicago Bulls. First actual game.
I did not know
that.
It
was my first game. I think I had 12. Probably do the research. I think I had a soft 12. But playing those teams were like incredible. It was like a dream. Like I couldn't believe it that I was going against those guys because I was a fan and obviously cheering for those guys. The first 3.
Yep.
And even a funny story, Penny. I was at the game in Chicago, I think, when you guys knocked them off.
Yeah, you was at that game.
When you was playing.
Yeah.
So, like, I got an opportunity to see you play up close and personal in the old stadium.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so when y'all beat them that year before, I'm watching you go. I went to the game. You wouldn't know. I'm sitting in the stand. I'm like, probably back then I couldn't afford to be up front. So you know what I mean? I was like 10th, 11th row. You know what I mean? But I was at 2 of those games in that series.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool
that you guys played against them and knocked them out. Yeah. So yeah, that was just something I just remembered. I was at 2 of those games. But yeah, the Bulls was the first team I played against. So I was actually amazed, man, how good they were, how good they was defensively. Because when I came in the league, Penny, I was a 3.
Mm-hmm.
I was drafted to be a 3. My rookie year, I played the 3 position. A lot of people don't know that. So I'm guiding guys like Scottie Pippen on a consistent basis. You know what I mean? All the top 3s in the league at that time. That's what I was playing against. So to be out there going against Scottie was something that I dreamed about, and I couldn't believe I was doing and playing against them and guarding them and competing against them. So I was a fan for a while. They dominated me, man. I went 1-11.
Yeah, no, I mean, they were smart, man.
That 3-year run, that 96, 97, 98.
Crazy.
I went 1-11. I got them my second year, the first game of the season. We beat them my second year, but 1-11.
Yeah, and your experience, man, was not good with the Bulls, but it was good because you had a chance to compete against your hometown team and a team that you grew up watching. Now,
going against that championship team was special.
Yeah, and then how was your experience your first year, your rookie year at Boston? Like, what was that like?
It was tough, man. It was a real learning period. We was in a rebuilding situation with the team. Only won 15 games, man. We was 15-67.
Wow.
We were bad. But I have to thank the coaching staff, ML Carr and them, the way they brought me along and developed me and made me stay engaged and be a cornerstone to trying to turn the organization around. I mean, they stayed on me. But the thing I did get my rookie year that was very valuable, I played minutes, Penny. I got a chance to play. Like, when you get a rookie, sometimes you don't get a chance to really play.
Yep.
Like, I really got an opportunity to play. I was like 17-9 my rookie year. which is pretty good
Major
numbers, you know
numbers.
what I mean, especially rookie year. So I got an opportunity to play 35, 36, 37 minutes a night, which gave me a lot of experience too. Even though we wasn't winning, I just was going out there working on my game, trying to get better. I played with one of your guys who was really big and helped me out a lot. And a lot of people don't know this. And I know he's one of your brothers, and Todd Day.
No question. Todd Day.
Yeah, so Todd Day was huge. Yeah, Todd Day. I mean, I was his rook.
Okay.
So Todd Day took me under his wing. Guy who had been in the league for a couple years at that point. So he really helped me out a lot as far as keeping my focus and playing and competing night in and night out. And he helped me a lot off the court. I came in the league at 19. So, you know what I mean? So he really helped me out off the court too as well, as far as adapting to the league and making right decisions. So I'm always super appreciative of that, how he took me up on his wing.
Yeah. So what was the expectations like? What does it take to succeed in Boston when you've seen all these banners? Like what were you learning like that? Man, was it pressure at all? Because even though they knew the storied franchise and that you weren't winning, like you said, 15 and 57. What did it take for you to just understand, man? I just want to know.
It was hard because they had just lost Len Bias. You know what I mean? And I think people understood it was going to be a rebuild. The year before I got there, they had made a big trade for Dominique Wilkins. I don't know if you remember that when Dominique played there. So they still was trying to win. Dino Raja was kind of like the guy that was built around. A lot of people may not remember his name that played in the league, really good. So the organization was in a rebuild, but we had so many veterans on our team. We had Purvis Ellison still was on the team. I played with Frank Bukowski. So the young guys were really only me, Todd Day. D. Brown was still fairly young. Eric Williams, Greg Minor. So we were young. We had some guys that were 4 or 5 years in, a couple years in. So they had a plan because the following year we were going to get 2 draft picks in the lottery, no matter what. So we were going to have 2 picks in the lottery. They was hoping for the number 1 pick. That turned out to be Tim Duncan. But we was hoping to see if they can get, 2 really good players. So I knew what it was. My biggest thing was staying focused. Penny, I just come from college. And I just won a national championship. I lost 7. I think I lost. I ain't trying to brag. I don't think maybe 7 games total in my college career.
Yeah, that's major.
7 or 8. It was one of those numbers. I hadn't lost a lot in the last couple of years. So losing, I had to learn how to lose and stay focused and keep the progress going and keep working hard and playing hard and keep developing my game. So that was probably the biggest and the hardest part for me, is to stay focused and continue to know it's individual development, even though we're not having team success.
Yeah, and that's all great, because if anybody's listening to that, you were nothing but a winner, high school, nothing but a winner in college, and then you go to a storied franchise and it's a down year and you got to stay locked in, because no matter what anybody says, it's hard when you're winning. You're losing those games. The money is great, but when you're a competitor, man, it hits you right in the heart when you're not winning the same way.
Well, also, too, you got this. When you talked about playing in Boston, another thing I would add, it's the passionate fan base.
Yes, sir.
They understand the game, and I think that's what's special, too, about it. Even though we wasn't winning, we still were getting, really good crowds. People were still coming out supporting. People saw the progress that we was trying to make. People know if you're playing hard. So it's a basketball city. So, I think that's what made it a little bit easier, because it wasn't like it was completely empty. You know what I mean? People were still coming out and watching.
Yeah, no, they're definitely passionate fans. Obviously, going there because the year that we beat MJ and them, we shut the Garden down. That was like the last game in the Garden with Dominique and Dino and those guys. So it was crazy in there when we shut that down. And, just understanding the fan base. The fan base was crazy every time we went, and I respected that because they knew what it was all about, man, that franchise was all about winning. And when you went in there and won, boy, it was special when you went in there and won.
Let's take a 2 cents timeout to talk about our good friends at DraftKings. Have you played Pick 6 from DraftKings yet? Well, now is the time to get on it. It's all come down to this. It's Super Bowl 59, the last time to play NFL Pick 6 this season. As the official daily fantasy sports partner of the NFL, DraftKings does fantasy sports like no one else. Play for better payouts on Pick 6. It's super easy to get started. When you're watching the big game, pick 2 or more players, choose if they'll have more or less of a stat between Kansas City and Philly players, like touchdowns, yardage, sacks, and more. Pick 6 is available in most states, including Missouri, California, Texas, Georgia, and more. And DraftKings is making it even sweeter for first-timers. New Pick 6 customers get play $5, you get $59 in Pick 6 credits. Win more cash on Pick 6. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app and use our code PENNY. That's code PENNY for new customers to play $5 and get $59 in Pick 6 credits. Only on DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 30 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
Now let's talk about your experience with playing with P. Paul, was that ahead of his time? Was that too early? If it would have happened later, would it have been differently? What? Explain that.
Me and P was special, man. The P situation was really special because he was supposed to go in the top 5. And a lot of people don't know that. Like, he was projected like top 5. He slid to 10 to Boston. So when we got him at 10, we knew we had to steal the draft. Mm-hmm. And one thing that was good about me and P, we hit it off the court. And you know this, Penny, from being in the league a long time. When you can hit it off the court, it makes things a lot easier when you come on the court. And we just kind of started to build a bond, a friendship that made us really, really good. We wanted to win. He wanted to be great. We wanted to be the ones to kind of turn the Celtic franchise around and get it back to respectability. Yep. So we just, we would hang out all the time, whether we going to dinner, whether we going to eat, whether we going to the club, wherever else. So we built a special bond, and we had a level of respect for each other's games that allowed us to be good and have success.
Yeah.
Like if he had 35, I was happy for him. If I had 30, he was happy for me. You know what I mean? And at one point, I think for our run, we were behind Shaq and Kobe for scoring duels. So we shared the wealth. Like, we were one of the 2 highest scoring duels in the league, for a while, for about, I would say 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, that was special.
So
I love watching
really
that.
Easy for it. Yeah, so the good thing about it is that we bonded off the court. And I think that's what made me and Paul's relationship special. And we challenged each other. We could talk, we could talk trash to each other. We could, you know what I'm saying? We can get in each other's face. And it never went past the court.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that's what it was. And we both had the same goal. We both wanted to really see each other win, play well. We wanted to make the All-Star team together. We wanted to do all that stuff together. And we did that a few times, and we accomplished a lot of goals. We didn't quite get over the hump. We got to the Eastern Conference Finals. We caught that New Jersey team 2 years in a row.
Man, they were good, too.
Yeah, they were really good. They knocked us out in the second round one year, and then they beat us in the Eastern Conference Finals another year. So, but we had some epic battles against them, some very good games. But Jason Kidd was at another level.
Man, come on. Because I was in Phoenix with him. He got traded to New Jersey for Steph Marbury. Shout out to both of them. And he went to New Jersey, man, and turned that thing out. He was elite the entire time at New Jersey.
Man, he averaged a triple-double in the Eastern Conference Finals, man. So you can imagine that.
He's the only guy. I'm sorry for interrupting. He's the only guy that could go a whole practice or a whole game and not shoot or score and affect the game in a major way defensively and finding people, bro. And then, like you said, when he did score, there was this the added pressure that he put on you.
That's bonuses, yeah. So we went against that group, and we came up short. And me and Paul had some good series. I mean, he had some guys, great. But he had some guys. He had Kenyon Martin, Richard Jefferson, Kerry Kittles. I mean, they were a really good team. So that we couldn't get over that hump, and the Celtic brass, the organization, just got a little impatient. Instead of adding to me and Paul, they thought they need to break us out.
Yeah, that I know if they could go back, I wouldn't have done that. I would have added 2. It kind of reminds me of JB and Jason Tatum right now. They were thinking about breaking that up, and then they just added 2, and then here comes the championship. So I feel the same way
Yes.
about UMP. UMP would have did the same thing. They would have added some nice veterans and some nice players around y'all. I feel like y'all could have brought a chip to Boston for sure.
We definitely could have got to the finals because we were definitely, top 3-4 team in the East. That's just with us, carrying the load. Now you imagine we getting the third piece and add to it. Because the year we went to the Eastern Conference Finals, I mean, we made that big run that year. We had traded for Rodney Rogers.
Yep.
Brought Tony Delkin.
Yep. T. Del.
So we got some scoring to go alongside of us as well. So we were right on the verge there. And then I just think the organization, the new guys came in because the team got bought. They came in and kind of wanted to go in a different direction. And I understand that anytime you buy a team, you think differently.
Yep.
And Danny Ainge started to take over the team. He had his own vision. So it was like a weird combination that didn't get a chance to play itself all the way out.
Yeah. Yeah, now I'm going to fast forward to Hoops, 2002.
Right.
Oh, my goodness. Talk about that run at Hoops that summer, bro. I came down there and stayed the whole summer with y'all. That Hoops.
Unbelievable, man. I tell the story, and I'm going to say it on here, it's just for me, the Michael Jordan calling me. I think we had just got knocked out the playoffs that year, and just saying that he was thinking about coming back and was like, hey, I hear you guys got the run going on a consistent basis, but he was like, hey, I need to switch things up. I need you guys to come play at Hoops every day, and we need to bring the run over here. And by that, and the funny part about this, Penny, I wasn't working out with no trainer. I would just play pickup ball every day and lift a little weights. I never worked out with a trainer my first 3-4 years in the league. So he was like, look, we're going to work out with Tim Grover. We're going to lift weights in the morning, and we're going to play pickup ball every day at 2 o'clock. We're going to do our individual instruction before that. And it just kind of took off from there. Just to be honest, just to be around him, to see him at that age, put the work in, to get back to trying to be at be back to that level was special. Taught me a lot individually. And then the runs were legendary. You know that. We only playing the 7. You know what I'm saying? We're playing the 7. You know if you lose, you may not, you got to sit one.
Yep.
Everybody hated sitting one. And then nobody wanted to go off the main court.
Right.
Everybody wanted to be on the main court. So it was special because it was so competitive. And I got to thank Mike for that. Mike made those runs competitive because we all would go eat or do something afterwards, that. And we would be talking trash like we just got through playing the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And people don't understand that, like those runs, and then we would talk trash to each other. And I think that's what made it great. It made us push each other every day to get better because now you're making real moves. And he the one incorporated the referees.
Yep.
I never played summer ball with referees.
Right.
You call your own fouls.
For sure.
But Mike was like, nah, we need refs. I don't want nobody calling me no fouls. But it was a special summer for me, just having the opportunity. And I always thank Mike for this, just to see how his work ethic. He the one made me really want to win a championship, Penny. I was always content with winning in college. I'm a pro now. I'm making, as a pro, I just want to make all-star team. I want to make as much money as I can. If a championship come. But he made me start thinking about, legacy and being a part of something special. And that was one of the main reasons I signed with the Miami Heat that summer. It's because of that. Because he talked to me about winning a championship. I always would say, you never won nothing in your life. You ain't never won a championship. So he would always make the championship so big, it made me really want to be a champion.
Yeah, for sure. And I thank MJ, too, because I followed him there. What happened was we were in Phoenix, and me and Charles Barkley were playing at this place in right in Scottsdale, like a little hoop gym or whatever. And MJ came one day. He brought MJ, and MJ was like, hey, I'm going to be in Chicago all summer. Come on down. So I was like, cool. I'm chasing the best. I'm trying to get myself back to where I was. So I went down to Chicago, stayed at the Peninsula Hotel for the whole summer and kicked it with y'all, man. It was the most fun time of my life. I don't want to misspeak, but when Bron came down, I could have sworn you brought Bron down there because I saw Bron in the gym. I spoke to him for a minute. I was like, I know it's 2002. Did you bring Bron down or did you tell Bron to come down? Because I remember him playing with us a couple days.
So Bron, I'm trying to think. So when he came in, he was only a junior.
Yep.
So a lot of money. So he was only a junior. So we had known about him, but we were big on the AAU circuit. So from Mr. Irvin, Mike Irvin being my best friend, he we all knew about Bron. We had heard about him just on the circuit. So we were still really involved in high school basketball. So we knew who was the next guy. And I remember him coming, and he tells a story. I saw him on the podcast telling a story the other day. He did make a lot of sense because Tim was really big. Tim Grover was really big on making sure, you know this, Penny, it's be 30 guys in the gym. But guys are paying clients. It was hard for Tim to stick guys that wasn't playing clients in the main room.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know what I mean? That first 7 to 8 games, you know what I mean? Where that good bump is going on. So that is true. But I think Bron took it the wrong way, but it was really like a real stickler for Tim. He was real stubborn about that, about his paying clients had to, play first. So I think Bron took it the wrong way, like we were hating on him or we didn't want him to play.
Yeah.
But we did.
Yeah.
We did want him to play. That's the purpose of him coming up and staying for a week. Because he stayed for the whole week. We went to go take him to eat and everything. So we wanted him to come and play, but Tim controlled the run that way.
Yeah, but I remember him getting out there, though. I did remember him getting out there.
Oh, no, he definitely played. I would say 2 days he played really good. I think 2 days, Tim kind of waited till the very end.
Yeah, the very end.
I think guys were kind of wore out. So he did play, but it wasn't really competitive at that time, like getting the meat and potatoes of the run. But I think 2 days he did. I always tell people he didn't bust nobody else when he said his thing. Now, he held his own.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
For a 16-year-old. He did
have
his
young
own.
fella, all young Brian in there just chilling. But now it was good to see him. And it's crazy because to see where he is now. Come on, man. The dude is to be the chosen one and to live up to that is two totally different things. And he did that, bro. So shout out to Brian.
Oh, yeah. And just to add to that, I think you would appreciate this too, a guy that's been unfortunate, had a few injuries in his career that probably stopped you from playing 5 or 6 more years. The fact that he's able to be healthy, man. I mean, I wasn't an injury-prone guy, but to be playing right now, injury-free, still competitive, still playing at a very high level. I mean, we understand that. A lot of people don't get that. And the only reason I bring it up because somebody like you that had to battle some injuries, I know you appreciate when you see a guy playing 22 years in the league. You know how hard it is.
Come on, man.
I mean, I just wonder, and I always wonder, every year we have motivation. I know his son, the last 2 years, the last year and a half has been kind of the motivation to play with him, but I'll be wondering what motivates him to even, continue to play and put that grind in that it takes to get through an 82-game season.
I think, and I can only guess this, that he's still chasing championships, bro. I think he feels like, I think I can get 1 or 2 more. I think he wants to get to that 6. I think whether his teams are good or not, in his mind, it's like, I feel like I can put us over the hump to go get those other 2 championships. I think that's what drives him still. I mean, I don't know how long he can do it, but I think in his brain, and why wouldn't he think that way? Because he's still dominating in the league.
Yeah. I just think for that, I think the Lakers would have had to, banking the AD, and AD's playing great. But he was banking that the organization was going to put the right pieces around him. And I'm not taking anything away from the Lakers. They're trying their best to add pieces and develop at the same time. But I think because of AD and how good AD is, I think that's why he felt like we can probably get it done. But the West has gotten better. That's all. Unfortunately for him, Denver Nuggets has been superb. The Joker's been unbelievable.
Dominant.
You know what I mean? So you've had teams got better and better. I mean, you look at OKC, 60 wins last year. They look like they're on the way to win 60 now. You got young teams like that. It's just the West is a little bit harder now.
Yeah, for sure. Now let's go to Miami. I played in Miami with you. I was there. I mean, that was the end of my career. I was just trying to hold on. But when I tell you a franchise that's different than any other franchise in the league, and that's all due respect to Coach Riley and Spo and the whole crew down there, man. It's, to me, it's an awakening from any other team that you've ever played on when you go there, in a good way, to me, because it's you're gonna get your work done down there. Talk about your experience down there.
I loved it, man. It was a very unique opportunity for me, Penny, to be able to go along and play with Shaq and D Wade, man. I played with D Wade in his 3rd year, him man from Chicago. And when I got hit with the opportunity in free agency to get there, and I was a part of a huge trade. It wasn't an easy easy situation for me to get to. I was a part of a 13-player trade, sign and trade deal to get to Miami, but it gave me a unique opportunity to be along to play for a championship. Me and Paul ran our course, so I talked about that earlier. So I got a chance to be with those guys. They had just come out of the Eastern Conference Finals, going against Detroit. Detroit was on their run of getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. They had just won a championship in 2004. So just the culture that Pat Riley had set up was different. But I had come from playing from disciplinary. I played for Rick Pitino. So I had some experience of playing with a disciplinarian coach, a guy that's going to get after you and challenge you. So that wasn't hard. The body fat and weight and all that stuff was different. It was unique and had to adjust to that and, had to figure out a way to deal with that. So that was easy. Go get a cook and you got to eat right.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it was one of those situations you got to invest in your body because that's something that they were stickler on as far as being in shape. They used that as a measuring stick. So that was a part of it. But the team itself was to play with Gary Payton, which I was coming from playing with Gary. Yeah, I was coming from playing with him in Boston. I played 1 year with him in Boston. But James Posey, Jay Will, to play with Jay Will.
Jay Will was nasty.
You know what I mean? Alonzo Mourning, to see what he went through and what he was doing to be in shape and competitive going through his kidney situation. Watch him take 40, 60 pills a day like it's, how he was doing it like Skittles. Yeah. And make it sound he was good. And then the mayor of Miami, UD.
Yeah, shout out UD.
Great. Yeah, UD, great teammate, great person to be around and really helped me out a lot in Miami off the court and making sure we was good. Just the whole setup was good. Darrell Wright, young.
Yeah, young pup.
It just our team was just great. You know what I mean, to be a part of. And that's what made it special, man. With that 15 strong, remember we used to say 15 strong, it really meant something. And I always tell people, and it's funny as it is, but I've never partied and played basketball, like have fun and play basketball like that in my life. So I'm used to like having to play 40 minutes a night. You got to get your rest. You got to be ready to roll.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But with this team, I got so many great players. I did play a lot of minutes, but I was cool. We going to Shaq D. Wade first. They got to put up the 30s
no doubt,
and 40s.
No doubt.
I mean? So it was different, but we were so close. We spent a lot of time. I've never been on a team, especially in the NBA, where you will see 6 and 7 guys at dinner. That's the first time I've ever been on a team like that, especially in the league. And that's what it was, man. It was something we had a common goal. Everybody was focused. I think even though it was weird, but I think Stan Van Gundy getting fired kind of was it was good in a good and bad because I like Stan. But Pat coming down kind of like really, really cracked that whip on us and really made it what it was about to be. Like I was coming off the bench the first 20 games. And Pat Riley, the first thing he did when he took over, he was like, you start. He was like, you're going to learn how to play with Shaq and D-Wade and be the third option. He was like, I need you on the floor. He said, Shaq needs spacing when he gets the ball in the post. He said, you're a good three-point shooter. I need you to space the floor. I can pass the basketball. He was like, you're going to be a great entry post passer. And he was like, I'm going to take you out early and bring you back in. I'm going to give you some time at 5 or 6 minutes where you got the floor and you're going to be the one option. But we're going through Shaq and D-Wade. I thought that was huge. Just the way he came down and commanded that, the way he told me it was going to be. And that's what he did. It didn't affect my minutes. I still played down the stretch. I still played in a big role for the team. It just was that we're going to go through Shaq and D-Wade. You're going to figure out a way to play with those guys. And this is how we're going to win a championship. And everything was just really simplified when Pat took over.
Yeah, and I got 3 things on the Heat. First, D-Wade, Flash. That dude was incredible, bro.
Incredible.
I mean, his knack for the ball, his scoring ability, his speed, his athleticism, his IQ, which a lot of people probably don't get him credit for, his rebound ability, just to take over a game, all of that. Unbelievable. Coach Riley.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I want to hear your 3. Go ahead.
Coach Riley demanded excellence. He was the master of excellence. If you weren't doing it at an excellent level, you could not. You're going to hear it. It's just he's the only coach that I think in the NBA that could demand excellence because of his history and that culture. And then third, UD, he was the reason why I feel like he was the reason why I joined the Heat, because he and I played in the summer in Miami, and we had this two-man game going, and I made sure, because UD was a good shooter, I made sure I got him the ball in all the right places, and he was knocking down shots, and we weren't close, but I could tell he had a mutual respect, like, Penny's humbled himself, and I could be wrong, but when we played together, it was great chemistry, and I think they probably asked him to nod, what'd you think about P? And I think he gave me that nod, but I had an unbelievable experience. The only thing I hated was that I wasn't healthy, because in that environment, man, it's all about war. It's all about excellence, all the tough things.
Yeah, I think people don't understand, too. Wait, Pat, you got to practice. We practice. You know that. And not saying that's a bad thing, but Pat wants to practice. He want to get it in. So I think, for a lot of guys that go on certain teams, Pat's going to practice, 2.5, 3 hours. You're going to be in there. You're going to do a lot of film sessions. You're going to lift weights. You're going to ride the bike. There's just certain things that you're going to have to do down there. And I think it's needed, because Miami, I would hate to be on a team down there that didn't do that. But, yeah, you got to put your work in. And I think that's what made it special down there. And the culture. Pat Riley made it a championship culture. You know what Shaq wanted. Shaq wanted to win chips. Obviously, D. Wade, we playing, like you said, playing with this young guy who's a young phenom at the time. We know inside that he's going to be the next one, because we're seeing it every day. And then the world got a chance to see it. The NBA Finals was special. People don't understand. That's one of the best NBA Finals of all time. I think he averaged 35, 36 a game, but just the way he scored. It's two guys in the league that I've ever seen that not necessarily have like a great jump shot that can dominate a game by slashing and in transition. That's Giannis when he won his championship, and D. Wade. Those are like two guys that stick out of my mind that can dominate a game, that don't necessarily have the best jump shot. Obviously, D. Wade became a better shooter as his career went along. But before that, guys that can slash, get to the bucket, get out in transition, two of the best I've ever seen do it.
Yeah, that run was amazing, because it was just a sight to see, just how it all went down. And as a basketball fan, obviously, I never won a championship, and I'm watching every finals. I've never missed the finals. And to see that performance from everybody contributed. You, Zoe, Gary, Jay Will, Shaq, Zoe. Everybody contributed to that championship, man, and it made it special. Just talk about winning a championship in Miami. When you finally won it, like you said, MJ would always give you a hard time about you not winning. You finally win that thing. How did that feel?
It was one of the best feelings in the world, especially because we were predicted to win it, obviously on paper, to come out the East. I shouldn't say to win it. We was predicted to come out the East. But Shaq missed the first 20 games. He got hurt the first game of the season, missed the first 20. We kind of had to struggle our way through the season. We ended up winning like 52 games. We was a 3 seed. It wasn't all together, but to see it come together and everybody lock in, and to see all the trades and the pieces that Pat Riley put together was for this moment. Jay Will, Alonzo playing bag up center, Posey, myself. Everything that we had put together, everybody was healthy at one time finally to make that real run. And the way we did it, I think obviously, we did it with some, it wasn't dominant, because obviously the Bulls took us 6 games, the first round, which was tough. The baby Bulls at that time that they was being called. Then we played New Jersey, with Vince Carter and those guys. They were good. And then obviously we got the Detroit Pistons, the team that had been dominating the Eastern Conference for the last 3-4 years. And we had to get over that hump with them. And then coming back from 0-2 against Dallas made it even more special. So it was just one of those things that I never thought I'd be. You dream about playing in the NBA championship. You dream about being in those situations. And to finally be in it, Penny, to be honest with you, I just didn't want to mess up.
I understand the history of that, right?
No, I'm serious. I just was like, I just want to do my job. You know what I mean? I wanted to do my job. And that was a unique year for me, because I played the 3, because UD obviously played the 4. So in order, coach, in order for me to get the minutes that I wanted, I had to play the 3. So that was a different, like I said, so that was really different. So I was really guarding a lot of threes. So that was different. I was chasing And you know how it is. It's a different game when you're chasing and running off screens.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to do all the right things. So, like, when I got to the finals, I remember just telling Shaq, like, do I go out to dinner? Do I go out? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like the small things. Like, I didn't want to do anything to disrupt what we had and what we could really accomplish. So it was a special ride. It's something I remember for the rest of my life. And I remember doing a Zoom, man. It made it really feel special. When COVID happened, we did a Miami Heat Zoom
Okay.
of the championship team. And that's when it really, like, hit home. Like, man, I really accomplished something that's going to always be remembered for the rest of my life. So just a real special year. I wouldn't trade it in for the world to go in there and play with those guys. It's just the guys I wanted with was special, man. And I think I'm with 3 Hall of Famers. Well, 4, you count Pat Riley, that actually won a GP, D-Wade, and Shaq. And is Lonzo in? Or Lonzo ain't got in yet,
I'm not sure. I don't know if so was in. He should be if he's not.
Yeah, you and Zoe should be
No
in
question.
there. You, Zoe, y'all got to get in there. So that just like on a few guys that like, so just to be a part of that team, bro, to be honest with you, was just, it's special and something that I cherish to this day.
Yeah, that's definitely a special time, man. So how are you staying connected right now with the game? What are you doing now that after basketball is done? Because we always thought that basketball was going to never end for us. So now that basketball has ended for a while for us, what are you doing now to stay connected?
Man, I've been very fortunate and blessed, man. So I've been able to be a part of the Players Association. I work on the Players Association side with financial literacy. So I'm going back, helping the guys, helping the team, sharing my trials and tribulations through what happened to me financially and making sure guys make the right decision. And that's been very therapeutic to be back around my peers and traveling around, being in front of the guys. So I've enjoyed that over the last 3 years, being around those guys. Back with the Celtics organization in the front office, staying busy with them, doing appearances, attending a ton of games, around the guys a lot. So this run that the Celtics on, I do feel like I'm a part of it because I'm around these guys all the time and got the chance to really witness their growth and development up close and personal. So I always like to thank the Celtics organization for bringing me back and being a part of that. So it's been fun being around that. And then I'm in the TV realm, man. The last couple of years, I started off in the SEC, doing some SEC college basketball. Now I'm doing shows, First Things First on Fox. I've done some stuff with NBA TV. So I'm connected to the game, man. I'm still connected in any which way possible that I can be a part of the game. You know, this is our DNA, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is our therapeutic session where we can be a part of it. And I'm a sports guy. I'm a basketball guy, man. I still attend high school games. I'm, Mike Irvin, my best friend, coaching over in Kidwood in Chicago. So I'm supporting him. He's got the AAU program. So I still stay connected to the game, see the kids. So whenever you need to call me, ask me about a kid in Chicago, just call me, big guy.
No doubt. I got to hit you up. And I'm still coming back down to play golf. What people don't know is I used to go to Chicago once a week. I got hooked on going to Chicago playing golf with Twan and his group. And we got pretty cool. I haven't done that in a while since I've been the coach at Memphis. But that was cool. I had to get back down there. And Mike has done a great job.
They waiting on you.
No, he's done an excellent. Him and Byron, those guys have done a great job for sure. But I want to say, man, I'm proud of you and great. It's great to hear that you're with the Players Association, going back and talking to the young guys and kind of giving them and filling them in on how this thing really works, whether they listen or not. Hopefully they are. You're doing what you got to do. And then a blessing to have a team that you play for, the Celtics, to bring you back and bring you in the fold with that as well, because that's what it's all about with us, man. We love this game. Like you said, it's our DNA. It's what we love to do. And as far as your game, man, nothing but love and respect, man. One of the best players to play the game. I don't care what anybody says, from handling to shooting to passes to IQ. Champion. Stamp that on your name. And love everything about it, man. I appreciate you coming on the show. And continued success. If you need anything from me here, brother, from me, I'm here for you. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Let me add this too, though, Penny, where you close out, man. I just want to, thank you for giving me my flowers. I want to give you your flowers too, bro. To be able to, to jump from the NBA and to be able to coach these kids, man, and have the success you've had. You're having a great year this year. Obviously, you guys are playing great.
I appreciate it.
I hope you guys make a deep run and watch it. But just proud of you, bro. It's hard, man, to come.
It is hard.
I think about it right now. Can I coach in college? I don't know. I'm a little intimidated. I don't know if that's me, if because we prideful. We want to be successful in whatever we do. But I've watched you. I'm a big fan of it. I know you had to have an overhaul with your coaching staff.
Yeah, no doubt.
all that stuff, bro. But to see you still on top, and I know it's probably a lot of haters out there.
You know, they come along with the program.
Yeah, I know it come along, man. But I love to see it, man. Come to Chicago, man. Feel free, man. We got to get you a couple players from Chicago on that roster up there, man.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna take you up on that, brother. But I definitely appreciate you, man. You know it's all love. We're gonna stay connected for sure, because I'm gonna get back down there and play golf. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you for sure.
All right, thanks, Penny.
Yeah. Hey, thank y'all for tuning in to My 2 Cents Podcast. Antoine Walker. Put some respect on that man's name. Peace.